Welcome to Introduction to Maya series. I am your instructor Rohan Page. In this video, we will learn about understanding the types of cameras. So, what will be our workflow? First, we will see about the default cameras available in Maya. Then we will learn about how to set up a camera in Maya. And after that, we will see types of cameras available in Maya. So, let's start with the session. Maya provides 4 default views. To see them, press spacebar on your keyboard. You can see there is one perspective view, top view, front view, and side view. Perspective, you can observe any object or surface in all 3 dimensions. Whereas in top, front, and side, you can only see 2 dimensions of your object. Hence, all these 3 views are known as orthographic views. Orthographic is the term came from AutoCAD drawings. Other than this top, front, and side, Maya provides other 3 orthographic views. That is bottom, back, and left side. So if you want to go to top view or any other view, you can just move your cursor to respective view, press spacebar, go to panel menu, select view, and go to predefined bookmark. You can convert this top view to bottom, you can convert it to left, right, anything. So if you want to convert your front view into back view, you can simply go to front view, go to view on panel menu, and then choose predefined bookmark, back. So Maya provides 1 perspective and 6 different orthographic views. So other than these default cameras, we can create 3 more types of cameras in Maya. To do so, go to Create, Cameras, Camera. You can see if you select the camera with the help of translation, you can move it. But right now there is no view or no scene in front of this camera. So I'll create basic objects in front of it so that we'll be able to see how it looks from the point of view of our camera. I'll just create this kind of objects. Let me create a cylinder. Okay, so these are some kind of pillars, you can assume it like that. So I'll change this view. Right now we are observing this scene from perspective view. I want to see this particular scene from the camera view. So as you know that we have created a camera. So select the camera, go to panel. There are 2 different ways to change the view and see it from the point of view of camera. The first type is you need not to select anything. You can just simply go to panel, perspective, and choose camera option. So right now you can see over here, there is written over here that is camera 1, and you are observing this scene from camera 1. To come out of it, you can again go to panels, perspective, perspective. And the other way to see from the point of view camera is you need to select the respective camera, go to panel, look through selected. Right, so the controls to navigate the camera view is same as in perspective. Just with the alt, left mouse, middle mouse, and right click, you can manage your camera. As you can see over here, I can simply see this particular scene like a perspective itself. Okay, so what are the attributes of camera while you can create it or after creating a camera. So I'll just delete it. Go to create cameras, camera, and there will be an option box. Click over here. We will see only those attributes which are constantly used at the time of camera creation. It has a rollout called as lens properties. Okay, so basically lens properties will have focal length, lens squeeze ratio, and camera scale, whereas focal length is used mostly. By default, it is 35, and the units used for calculating the focal length are used millimeter. Basically, focal length value is mentioned in millimeter, that is 35 mm. So you can change it according to your requirement. And focal length relates to how you see your objects. Okay. So, and we will see it as soon as we will be working with this particular scene. So let me give you just the introduction of the all attributes. After that, we have film back properties rollout, where you have horizontal film aperture and vertical film aperture. Basically, aperture value is always set in inches, and default value of these attributes represents the aperture value of digital camera sensors. So if you are using any kind of image captured by Nikon or Canon camera, then you can input the size of aperture mentioned in image properties for these attributes. For example, you have aperture value of anything else which is mentioned in image. You can simply go select the image, right click properties, and you can observe those values of vertical and horizontal aperture and mention the same values in these respective blocks. There is a motion blur rollout also, so you can use this option to create a blur background to make it blur, or also you can use this particular option to create a motion blur at the time of animation. And this particular option is controlled with shutter angle. By default, the value is in 144. After motion blur, we have clipping planes option, and clipping planes represents how close or how far a camera can see. And the units mentioned in near and far clip are generic units, as we use to calculate the distance in Maya. It will be like according to the grid. So the values in clip rollout are not in millimeter, centimeter, or inches. Those are generic units. You can also create orthographic camera, other orthographic camera other than front, side, top, bottom. You just need to turn this on so that whenever you will create a camera, that camera will be creating orthographic views, which means it is going to give you a two-dimensional view, not a three-dimensional view. So let me just create the camera with these default values. Create camera. So if as you can see that whenever you create anything in Maya, it gets originated at the grid center. So you can change the view, go to panel, look through selected. As you can see, my placement is exactly at the origin of grid, so I'm not able to observe or see my complete scene. So you can use your navigation shortcuts, that is alt right click, dolly out. So I am able to see my scene now. And to see the attributes of selected camera, how to see the attributes of selected camera? You just need to go to view and select camera. This option going to select the camera from which you are displaying your particular scene. Right now I am in camera 1. So if I'll go to view and select camera, it is going to select camera 1. Press Ctrl A to go to attribute editor. Now you can see that there are attributes of the camera. Other than those camera setting, it has few more attributes. So let us see what are these attributes basically. So the main attribute, as we have seen at the just before, that is focal length, and I said that the default value is 35 and the units are in millimeter. So decreasing or increasing the value of focal length is going to affect your view and camera. So how it affects? So decreasing the focal length value will display the objects in wide angle shot. So if I'll decrease the value to, for example, 20 and press enter, so you can see that this particular scene is now having some kind of a wide angle, and you can change this focal length more or less. Like for example, I'll change it to 10. As soon as I'm changing the focal length, you can observe that angle of view is also getting changed. Right now, angle of view option is 121 and my focal length is 10. If I'll change it to 12, it is also getting changed, angle of view option. And the more less value in the focal length, more wide angle I'm getting for this particular scene. You can use it in your feature or short film if you have any kind of such requirements of having wide angle shots. Whereas increasing the focal length value is going to give me a very tight camera angle and the objects will be very large. So let us change it to, for example, 75. And you can see right now I am able to see all my objects. I have very tight camera angle. I'm not able to see whole object. And also angle of view is reduced to 26.99. So basically in this way you can affect your angle of view and focal length to see different kinds of angles, like wide angle, or you can get a very tight angle by increasing the value. So I'll keep it to default now. The next portion in this attribute, we have near clip plane and far clip plane. By default it is mentioned as 0.1 and the far clip is 10,000, which means this particular camera is able to see as near as 0.1 unit all the objects from 0.1 till 10,000 unit will be displayed in a camera. So let us assume that how it affects basically. So if I'll mention the far clip value, for example 3 units only, so you can see I'm not able to see single object available in my scene. So why I'm not able to see? I'll just go to perspective view, and if I'll select the camera, you can see far clip plane value is 3, which means my camera is able to see only those objects which are within the unit of 3 units. And as you know, the objects placed over here are far more than 3 units from the camera, right? So let me just increase the value, and 3 units means 3 grid lines, and you can see it is more than 3 units. I'll just use like 15. Go to panel. I want to see perspective and camera view side by side, so I'll go to panel, layout, 2 pans stacked, or else you can use layout, 2 pans side by side. I'll go to this right side view panel and change it to camera 1, right? So I'll choose far clip plane. I'll just duplicate all these these cylinders to have more number of pillars. All right, so there are lots of pillars available in my scene, right? I'll just go to select camera. I'll make this value to 35, focal length is 35, and you can see that I'm not able to see the complete columns which I have created. As you can see, there are a lot of columns, but I'm not able to see them. I'm able to see only those columns which are within the range of 15 units. So if I'll change this unit to 20, you can see I'm able to see many more columns. If I am changing it to 30, I'm able to see further. And if you'll change to 50, you'll be able to see further. That means far clip plane is going to tell the camera how far you can see, and objects beyond that limit will not be displayed and even will not be rendered. So in this way, you can decide how far your camera should see. And in near clip plane, if I'll say 2, value 2 unit, so the objects from 2 unit to 10,000 unit or 1 lakh unit will be shown in your camera. So I'll choose for 10. So you can see the columns which were near to my camera are now invisible. I'm not able to see them. If I'll increase it to again 15, so I'll be able to see only those pillars which are within the range of 15 to 10,000. So before 15 unit, whatever columns are available, I'll not be able to see it in camera view. So this is how the clip planes work. And the next option, which is very much important, is depth of field rollout. In depth of field rollout, what is depth of field basically? So enabling depth of field is going to create or make your scene blurry. In depth of field, things get focused. You can make camera focus on particular object. Then how to do it? So I'll just select it, turn it on, and you can see that the particular view, I'm not able to see all the object very clearly. It has made my scene or viewport completely blurry. So how to focus on any particular object? Basically, there is an option called as f-stop and focus distance. So basically, focus distance is the distance of a camera from any object. So you should know that whatever object you want to focus on, you need to see at what distance it is placed from camera. Then how we can determine the distance between the camera and object? So that particular value you need to mention in focus distance, and your camera will focus on that object which is placed at that respective distance. So to see the distance of any selected object, you need to go to display, heads up display, and there is an option called as object details. Turn it on. There you will see that distance from camera, right? So if I'll select any object, I'll just select at this side, and you can see the distance of the selected object from camera is 11.95 units. If I'll select this one, it is going to tell me that the distance of the selected object from camera is 20.417. So I want to focus on this particular object which I have selected. So it is on 17.595. I'll go to view, select camera, mention that focus point value, that is 17.959, enter, and you can see only this particular object is crisp, whereas other objects are not crisp. Okay, so I'll select it. Let us give some kind of color so that I'll be able to see that particular object properly. I'll go to assign new material. I'll apply basic Lambert. I'll assign the existing material. Press G to repeat the command, or else you can simply select these, press G. I'll apply other color to this row. Assign existing material. I'm just applying for the sake of proper display. We'll be covering how to create material all in other session which you can refer. Now I'll again go to my camera view. Okay, now you can see all the other pillars are not so focused, but whereas this particular object is pretty much focused. You want to focus on, for example, only these pillars which are in front of the camera, right? So the distance of these objects is like 9.032 and 9.12. So basically we will use the value of 9.2. So object from at the distance of 9.2 will be focused. I want to focus it. So how to do that? I'll again go to panel, select camera, give the value of 9.2, and you can see now, as soon as I have changed the value of focus distance, these objects which are at the distance of 9.2 are visible in a proper way, whereas other objects which are away from that particular distance are blurry, right? So you can use this. So I'll just select other object, which is, I'll just place it over here like this. I want to focus on this object, and which is at 25.689. So you just go to view, select camera, made it 26.5, and you can see I am able to see this particular object which is at that particular distance. So this is how the depth of field work. Right. So this is the important option, other important option. I'll just go back to display. I want to hide that heads up display of object details. So I'll just turn it off. Right. So there is other important option called as environment background. So what is it? If I'll render this particular scene, you can see that I am able to see all the columns which are rendered now, and the background color of this particular render is black. So you can change the background of this render view by using this environment setting. You just need to select the respective camera. You can select your own color which you want to use. For example, I'll use this sky blue color, and done, and then render it. You can see that the color of my background of respective camera is now changed. You can bring it back to default. Right. So there are some more attributes to the camera, and those are like display rollout. In display rollout, you have display film gate, display resolution gate, and there is mask opacity and other options. So what are these options basically? So if I'll click on this, there is a shortcut at the panel menu also. Beside grid, there is a first shortcut for film gate. So if I'll click over here at the film gate, you can see that there is a window which is coming up with the gate mask. This particular gray shaded thing is called as gate mask. So which means that whatever camera is going to be shoot or going to be displayed or rendered, so that will happen within this range. So objects after this particular area will not going to get rendered. So this is film resolution gate. It is going to turn on or turn off the film gate. The next just after that is resolution gate. Click over here and you will see that this is going to show some number. It is showing you a 960 and 540. So this is the resolution of your camera set by default in render setting, which means that whenever you will render this particular image, it is going to get the size of 960 and 540 width and height respectively. You can change it according to your requirement, and to change the resolution of your particular scene, you need to go to this render setup, and in common tab we have an option of image size, where you can manually mention or where you can choose the presets made available by this Maya. So if I'll check, I want a full HD video or half HD, I can choose half HD 720, which means width will be 1280 and 720 will be height. And you can see that particular number is now updated over here. You can press space bar. So you can see this is my film gate, basically resolution gate with the gate mask. After this film gate, we have this gate mask, which you can turn on and off by using this option over here. You can change the color and the opacity of this particular gate mask. To do so, just select the camera, go to attribute editor, And in display option rollout, you will find the option of gate mask opacity and gate mask color. So if I'm going to increase the value of gate mask opacity, it is going to make this particular gate mask completely opaque, and I'm not able to see anything other after this particular window. So if you reduce the value, it is going to make it transparent, so I'll be able to see what are the objects which are not going to get rendered. You can change the color of this gate mask. I can choose any other color if it is a requirement, or if you like to keep it in other color, you can choose the gate mask color. But basically most of the time we keep it to black, so it will show you like a real the camera display. So this is gate mask, and you can change the color at any time. You can bring it back to default gray shade, and you can again decrease this opacity to make it a little bit transparent also. After this gate mask, we have field chart. This field chart is mostly used in layout department while setting up a camera in for a CG asset and while animating it. So after that we have safe action, which means that whatever objects you want to render, or whatever actions are happening in your particular scene, it has to happen within this safe action. Otherwise the object will not get rendered. And after that we have the title, safe title frame, which means you can get this particular distance to mention any kind of a title over here. You can turn it off by using the same options on the panel menus. If you don't want to see resolution yet, you can just click on the same option. So basically these are the options for the camera attributes, and in this way we can set up a camera and change its attributes according to our requirement. Now I'll just come out of it, out of this camera view, and choose perspective. Now this was a camera without any kind of a node, right? There are two different types of cameras available in Maya. To see them, go to create cameras. There are two different cameras, that is camera and aim, camera, aim and up. I'll just create camera and aim. I'll bring it back over here so that you will be able to see it properly. Go to create cameras, camera, aim and up. Place it over here, right? So basically camera and aim, you can call it a two-node camera also. So basically there is a camera and which have a locator over here. So basically this locator is going to handle the orientation of your camera, or you can say that your camera will be constantly focused on this particular aim. If I am translating the camera, you can see that wherever you will move it, camera is going to focus on that particular aim only. You can adjust its aim by moving this particular locator, and you can see how my camera is orienting according to this particular locator. And next type of camera is camera, aim and up, where you have the aim locator and other as the locator which handles the orientation of up axis. Like this, it is going to give the rotation. We will see how it affects our point of view of respective angle. So I'll just delete it, this camera. I'll delete this camera also for right now, and I'll go to panel, layouts, two pans side by side. I'll go to the right side view panel, and I want to see it from camera 2. So you can see that right now this is my particular view. So if I am changing this locator position, which is aim, if I'll move it, you can see how my camera is getting rotated. My camera placement is at the same thing, same area or place, but just it is adding a rotation like this. You can see like this. I'll just move it a little bit back, right? You can manually adjust it. but wherever you will move, your camera is going to aim at that particular locator only. You can simply select this locator and you can change it, you can translate it, and it is going to affect your complete view. It is going to affect the orientation of camera. And the next portion which we have, sorry, I'll go back to any top view or something like that. I want to delete this particular camera node. I'll go to create cameras. The next one is camera aim and up. I'll bring it back like this. Okay, I'll go back over here at the panel, perspective camera 1, and we have this aim which works as as camera and aim locator. But if I'll rotate, or if I'll translate this up axis, it is going to create a rotation of camera in up axis. See this. Right. So this is camera aim and up. We can so most of the time we use all these three types of cameras at the time of layout, or at the time when you want to create a camera and animate it. You can use these camera aim and up or camera and aim to create dynamic angles. So this is how the types of cameras available in Maya. This is how it works. So let us see what we have learned in this particular video. So what we learned in this session, we have learned that Maya have one perspective and 6 orthographic default cameras, or you can say views, that is top view, bottom view, front view, back, right and left view. And you can change any orthographic view by using predefined default camera views available in panel menus. We have seen that the attributes of camera like focal length, and focal length relates to how you see objects in camera, and this particular value is calculated in millimeter. We have seen that how decreasing the focal length value change into the display of object in wide angle shot, how object can be seen smaller in that particular wide angle shot. If you increase the value, it is going to give you a very tight angle and the objects in the scene will be seen in large scale. We have seen the depth of field option, which makes your particular scene blurry, right? So enabling this particular depth of field is going to give you how to set the focus, or where to set the focus of your camera. Or you can set the focus of the camera on a specific object depending on its distance from the camera. We have seen that to find out this particular distance, you can use heads-up display object details, and you can just select the object and see or calculate the distance of any object from the camera. The clipping plane rollout decides how far and close a camera can see. As we have seen that near clip decides that the near value, if it is a default value is 0.1, if I'll change it to 1 or 2, so my camera will start observing or displaying the object after the 2 units, right? And if I'm changing the far attribute, you can say far clip attribute to 10 units, which means that my camera will not be able to see or display the objects after 10 units. We have seen the types of cameras also. You can create 3 types of cameras in Maya, that is camera, camera and aim, where aim is the locator which decides where your camera should focus on or should be aimed at. And then the third type is camera aim and up, where up is going to control the orientation of up axis of your camera. We have seen the important attributes of camera which are available on panel menus and even in attributes, that is film gate, resolution gate, gate mask, where you can change the color of your gate mask to black, to anything, and also you can control the opacity of your gate mask, safe action and title action. These are the important attributes of camera which we have seen. So for any query, you can follow me on Facebook, or else you can write me an email on rohan.pageanimator@gmail.com. Thank you.